Hey guys, it's Tyler. I have officially changed my name and I wanted to kind of go over the process because it was kind of lengthy. I also was able to change my gender marker on my ID at the DMV, but not on my birth certificate. So I kind of want to go through all of that. I live in North Carolina and it's a little bit tricky right now, and I think that House Bill 2 has something to do with that. So I just wanted to go over, the process, and I also have a little bit of a life update at the end of the video. I'm saving it for the end for those that don't care. So basically, the way you have to go about getting your name changed in North Carolina is, in order to just do the name change, you don't have to have any kind of, surgery or treatment of any sort. You just have to have it done. The process is the same. So the way that works is you go down to the courthouse in Raleigh and you buy a name change packet. It was $5, and it includes all the stuff that you're going to need to be able to do that. It has, let me see if I can remember what all is in the packet. There is an affidavit for an adult name change that you have to fill out and have notarized. There are two affidavit of character references, two people that know you, but they have to have known you for 6 months, and they can't be related to you, and they have to live in the county that you reside in. They have to fill those out and have them notarized. Everything has to be notarized. You also have to fill out an affidavit saying that you don't have outstanding taxes, and you have to get 2 sets of fingerprints done. One goes to the SBI and the state, and one goes to the FBI. I think that was all that was in the packet. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a lot of different, it sounds more complicated than it is, but there are a lot of things that have to be filled out, notarized, and taken back when it was time to take it back. You also have to fill out a notice for a name change, and that goes publicly posted on the wall on Fayetteville Street. It's inside the courtroom, or inside the courthouse, but you have to have that publicly posted for 10 days. A lot of people choose to go ahead and do that and post it the day that they go pick their packet up. I did that originally, but since I decided to go with a different name, I had to redo that part. So it wasn't, after you get your packet, it's just about doing the things that are inside of that packet. The thing that takes the longest is your background check from the FBI. So it was a little over 3 months from the time I started the process until the time that I was able to go and have my name changed. And the reason for that is the FBI check. I had my state one back within 2 weeks probably, but the tricky part here is that you have to have your name change done within 90 days of the first background check that comes back. So my state background check came back on June 4th. So technically I was supposed to have everything done by August 30th or 31st. I wasn't able to do it until June 2nd. September 2nd. So it was a little late, but they said a couple days are okay. It's just, if it's gonna be 2 weeks, a month, and longer, you're gonna have to redo the whole thing, or at least redo the state background check. So you can have it expedited. Your FBI background check can be expedited. I chose not to do that. It was a huge hassle, and I guess, in my opinion, it was, because you have to do they give you a list of people that you can go through, but you have to do the work. They're not going to do it for you. And I was too busy, and I decided to just wait for it to come back on its own. Luckily, it came back in time to be able to do it. Some people, there was a guy in there said that his took 6 months to come back. So you really just kind of have to, decide what you want to do. So after you get all that done and you get your background checks back, you have to take it back to the courthouse, and they go ahead and do your name change. As long as you have everything, you pay $120 for that. I think to do my name change altogether with the packet, the background checks, and the actual name change process was probably around $250. I don't know exactly. You're gonna have to have stuff notarized. I'm a member of the SECU, so they did it for free. But so if you're a member of a credit union, they may do the notarizing for free. what else? So after they do your name change, they give you the paperwork to go to Social Security, and you get your new Social Security card. It was no hassle there. They did it, no problems. And then you have to wait 24 hours to go to the DMV. Mine fell on a holiday, so I actually ended up having to wait almost a week. It was like 4 or 5 days before I was able to go to the DMV and get my ID. But you do have to wait 24 hours. So the best thing to do is to go ahead and go get your Social Security card and just wait 24 hours and then go to the DMV. The DMV was super nice. They actually, the girl that was, or the woman that was at the front desk actually congratulated me. And when I went back to do it, they, you know, I had already talked to Vital Records, and those are the people that deal with your birth certificate. And she had already told me she wasn't going to be able to do my gender marker change. So I was kind of, you know, frustrated. But I don't know, I'll go over that in a minute. But so I went back and, you know, I showed the lady my letter from Dr. Garamoni, and I showed her my name change stuff. And I didn't mention anything about having already talked to Vital Records or anything like that. I just went back there, I gave her my name change stuff, and I said, and I also need to have my gender marker changed, and here's a letter from my surgeon. And there was no problems. She went ahead and changed my gender marker on my ID. In North Carolina, you get a temp. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm gonna try to cover up my address best I can, so don't be. But so this is, I hope you can see that because I'm not in front of the camera, but so it's my name and my gender marker is there. So yeah, so they did it at the DMV, no problem. Now, having your gender marker changed at Vital Records in North Carolina right now is a pain, and I'll tell you where I think I made my mistake. So when I first got all my stuff done at the courthouse, my name change was done. You have to call and make an appointment with Vital Records to go down and have your gender marker changed on your birth certificate. I called and I spoke to the lady, I can't remember her name now. I want to say it's like Francis or something like that. But I can't remember off the top of my head. She's the only one that does the stuff for the gender marker change and everything, or changes on your birth certificate, whatever. So I called her and I told her, hey, I need to make an appointment to come and have my gender marker and my name changed on my birth certificate. She said, have you had the surgery? Where I made my mistake is because I'm trying to be honest, and first of all, I was a little taken back, you know, because I guess that's not something I was expecting, even though I know she probably has to ask that. So my first mistake was I said, yes, I've had top surgery. And she said, so you haven't completed the surgery? And I was like, yes, I've completed the surgery. You know, I have a letter from my surgeon. And she was like, you have to have top and bottom surgery. You have to have both surgeries to be able to have your gender marker changed on your ID. You have to have sexual reassignment surgery. That's what she said. And I was like, I have a letter from my surgeon saying I've had sexual reassignment surgery, or sex reassignment surgery. I don't know why I'm saying sexual. So sex reassignment surgery. And, you know, then she was like, well, why don't you fax me over or email me over what you have, and I'll take a look at it and I'll see if it's what we need. So I took pictures of, you know, my letter from Dr. Garamoni, where it says inside the letter, I have completed sex reassignment surgery on me. So I sent that to her. I also sent the stuff for my name change just to be, you know, safe. She called me back and she said, I see the two things you sent me, but I'm gonna have to check with my supervisor. I don't think that this is gonna work because you have to have had both surgeries. You have to have completed surgery. She kept saying you have to have completed sex reassignment surgery, and that was kind of irritating. So I haven't heard back from her. It's been about a week, and I haven't tried calling back because I had such good luck at the DMV that I'm less worried about my birth certificate. However, you know, I want to have that done eventually. So what I'm getting around to as my point is, if you're going to have your gender marker changed on your birth certificate in North Carolina, my advice is to, when you call and she asks, have you had the surgery, just say yes. Because if you have a letter from your surgeon that says, I have completed sex reassignment surgery on, and then your name, then there should be no questions. There should be no, what surgeries have you had? It's none of their business. You know, you have a letter saying I've had the surgery, and that should be that. So instead of telling her if you've only had top surgery, instead of saying yes, I've had top surgery, don't say that. Just say yes, I've had surgery. So that was my experience. It's done with the DMV. It's done on my ID. I'm happy, and eventually I might try to fight the whole birth certificate thing, but I just don't have the energy right now. That's all that stuff. But as a life update, I know in my last video I mentioned I had started some business and stuff. I actually stopped doing that just because it was consuming more time than I wanted it to. My sister and I started a photography business, and I wanted to focus more on that. I got my photography certification. Also, Liz and I are going to hike the Appalachian Trail in March. So we're going to start March 25th. And if you don't know, it's just the longest trail on the East Coast. It runs through the Smokies, it runs all the way up. It runs from Georgia to Maine. You end at Katahdin. It's pretty cool. I've been wanting to do it for a while now, especially since I've started working at REI almost 4 years ago. So you're on the trail for about 5 or 6 months. So yeah, that's everything right now. We're just getting prepped for that. But yeah, so if you have any questions about the name change, I'll be happy to answer them. Just put them in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.